Emerald Downs Weekly starts right now on NBC Sports Northwest. Joe Withey, Gary Doherty, and Phil Ziegler here to talk thoroughbred racing. And we've got some extra excitement in thoroughbred racing on a national level this weekend. The Preakness Stakes, Blaine Wright, our leading trainer 2 of the last 3 years, our leading stakes trainer the last 2 seasons. He won our first stake this past Sunday for 2019. He has another twist of fate in the Preakness Stakes. And we're going to kick it off early, guys, with Preakness Pancakes, Gary, on Saturday morning.
Yes, absolutely. Come out early in the morning from 9 to 11 a.m. You get some pancakes, bacon, little orange juice, and free admission to the races that afternoon, and also a live race program.
That is a great deal. Preakness Pancakes, an ongoing tradition with admission to the races later that day, the program, as Gary mentioned, and pancakes and bacon. Phil, we're looking forward to another great weekend here at Emerald Downs. It'll start Friday night, but the season's off to a great start attendance-wise. What a great weekend we just had.
Sure, and the weather was perfect for Mother's Day weekend. We had our T-shirt giveaway Friday night, Mother's Day buffet on Saturday and Sunday. The weather was actually really warm on Saturday, and lots of folks came out. I think everybody had a good time.
Lots of prize drawings.
Lots of prize drawings.
Yep.
So we're looking forward to this next weekend and cheering on Blaine Wright, another twist of fate in the Preakness. That's exciting that we have a local connection, and it'll be something to see Blaine Wright being interviewed on NBC, right?
Yeah, he's well known in California. Alert Bay, of course, has been a very prominent West Coast horse the last several years. But another twist of fate with this huge win in February down in California at Golden Gate in the El Camino Real Derby. That ensured him a spot in the Preakness if he wanted to go, and they do want to go. Owner Peter Redekop, trainer Blaine Wright, Emerald Downs regular. And another twist of fate after the El Camino Real Derby, ran second in the Sunland Derby.
He wins this race, Joe. He's in the Kentucky Derby probably, right?
That's right. They wouldn't have had to run in the Lexington.
Yep.
In which he came in second in the Lexington.
Not that much.
He could have changed history.
That's
Everything that happened in the Derby, maybe it doesn't happen if he's in that race, right?
And he's 6-1 the morning line for the Preakness. That's a lot of respect there, 6-1.
Post 12 out of 13, and Jose Ortiz, one of the nation's top riders, aboard. Another twist of fate. So that is going to be real exciting. That'll be Saturday afternoon between some of our races at Emerald Downs. We're going to start at 2 p.m. But we talked about a Northwest-based trainer hadn't started a horse in the Kentucky Derby. You got to go back to 1956. Lloyd Lawson was a Long Acres regular, and he started Count Chick in 56. And we just haven't competed on that level with our local guys, and this is groundbreaking stuff. It's not that big of a surprise that Blaine Wright is reaching heights after watching him.
And Peter Redekop has a lot of great horses that he owns, and Blaine is such a great trainer and such a great ambassador for us here at Emerald Downs, tells everybody how wonderful it is here, and I told him we'll be just as nervous probably as he will be watching that race on Saturday and cheering on another twist of fate.
We're hoping he's wearing some Emerald Downs swag during the post parade. When he gets interviewed, to see some Emerald Downs logo on Blaine's attire.
Yeah, well, he is a Northwest guy all the way. Of course, Richard Wright, outstanding jockey in the Northwest, and then an outstanding trainer starting in the early 80s, late 70s. Richard, and the whole family's back there. Blaine's father, Richard, and mom, Sue, and his sisters, and I think his uncle as well. So good luck, really, to Blaine Wright. The favorite in the race morning line is Improbable, and that horse has not won yet this year in 3 starts. Bob Baffert, trainee, was battling hard with Omaha Beach here in the Arkansas Derby a few weeks back, and Omaha Beach did not give in at all. Ran a huge race to win it. Improbable, a close second there to Bob Baffert Omaha Beach, Richard Mandela, and then he didn't make the Kentucky Derby. Improbable, 4th officially in the Kentucky Derby.
But and he's 5-2 morning line in this race, so still a lot of respect. But if you're looking for, again, wide open race, this is definitely it. And, we should mention another twist of fate. If he runs well, and finishes anywhere, if he doesn't win, finish second or third, then it's probably on to the Belmont, I assume.
Possible. And
Yeah.
It's a huge purse. If you've got a sharp 3-year-old, there's opportunities all year long, of course. But these Triple Crown races, they get a lot of attention, and there's a lot of money given away as well. So
And Bob Baffert's trying to be the first trainer in history to win the Preakness 8 times. He's won it obviously 7 times. That tied Ralph Wyndham Walden, who did it in the 1800s. So nobody's won 8, and Bob Baffert will try it with Improbable here on Saturday.
very good. Okay. Yeah, Bob Baffert, first Preakness win back in 97 with the Silver Charm and Real Quiet. And,
Yep.
of course, a couple of Triple Crown winners in the last 4 years for Bob Baffert. He's the guy to beat with Improbable, but, again, Improbable, there's a ray of hope there. He's 0 for 3 this year.
Mike Smith gets on Improbable for this race.
Is that right?
I don't think he's ridden him before. So Baffert and Smith weren't together in the Derby. Seems
Yeah.
like anytime those two guys get together, they win on national TV. You
Yes.
just look up all the time, and there they are. So we'll see.
First race, 2 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday, and Friday night, 6:30. We're going to go over that schedule, but remind our fans and listeners of live music opportunities at Emerald Downs. It's a happening place.
Yes, twice this weekend. Friday night between the races, out by the winner's circle. If it's nice out, we'll move them somewhere else if it's raining. But we'll have Folsom Prism playing some Johnny Cash music. They've been a big hit here in the past. And we got a big band from California, an AC/DC tribute band, Saturday night around 8 o'clock. They're called Problem Child. They're one of the better AC/DC bands in the country. Lots of calls here at the track already. It should be a fun Saturday night here, 8 o'clock, and there's so many AC/DC songs that people like. And it could be a twist of fate, big party afterwards.
Yes.
Phil?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, the party will be going on if he wins. And did we mention he drew post number 12 out of 13? Another twist of fate. I think we did. Jose Ortiz aboard for Blaine Wright. The big time. The Preakness Stakes on Saturday. Preakness Pancakes at 9 a.m. Much more, of course, coming here on Emerald Downs Weekly. We'll be right back.
How many AC/DC songs can you name?
Oh, 15.
Really? Joe?
Yeah.
How many? Over-under is 1.5.
Thanks for joining us and being a regular viewer, hopefully, of Emerald Downs Weekly. A lot of great information in an hour on Emerald Downs and thoroughbred racing. Looking forward to another weekend here at the track. And Gary, let's start. Friday night, 6:30, our second Fab Friday. Lots of people out to get the T-shirt last week.
Absolutely. Wear it back this Friday. Get in for free. We got $3 Bud and Bud Lights out by the winner's circle. Also, the $1,000 horseshoe toss will happen during the evening. If you throw a ringer, you get how much, Phil?
$1,000.
$1,000.
Yeah.
We still have
Plus the name,
$1,000.
maybe.
Yes. And then closest to the pin, we get $100. Everybody whose name is drawn out will get at least a $25 gift card. So that makes for a lot of fun. And once again, Folsom Prism, a Johnny Cash band playing between the races out by the winner's circle. So Friday night should be fun. There's
Now, we should mention if you didn't get a shirt last week.
yes.
So if you missed last week and you still want to get one of those shirts, just go into the gift horse, and for $9 you can buy one, and then you could wear it back every Friday for free admission.
Yes.
So
Great deal there,
chance to
too.
do that.
Friday. So Friday should be fun, and then we'll come back on Saturday with the Preakness Stakes, pancakes in the morning, live music on the 5th floor after racing around 8 o'clock. There's a Preakness Pancakes.
And they have a stable tour at 11 a.m. as well, so you
That's
can
right.
really make a whole day of it. Come at it at 9, see that whole program, get some free breakfast, food, take a stable tour, and then stay for the races.
And visit our new casino on the 5th floor. Opens at 2 o'clock. Or is it noon on Saturday?
Noon on
Noon.
Saturday.
Saturday
Noon
and Sunday.
And if you're still around after the AC/DC tribute show, you can get our famous steak and eggs breakfast for $3.95.
That
a
is
lot of food.
fantastic. New York steak and eggs. Yeah, he said it right. $3.95. Starting Thursday through Sunday, Phil, 10 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. That is one heck of a good buy.
If you're driving around Auburn, 10 o'clock or beyond, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, come
Yeah.
to Emerald Downs, go up to the 5th floor, and you can have that. It's New York steak, hash browns, eggs,
2 eggs.
2 eggs. Yeah.
What's a record for one person? Is it 2? Or do we know if anybody's ever had 3 in one
I
setting?
saw a guy get 2.
2?
He says, we're going another round. That's what he said to me after they had their first round, but I don't think they went beyond that.
Wayne Cody used to order a triple taco salad at Longacres.
Triple.
Yeah. Okay. Wayne was a great race fan, by the way. We
Yes.
miss him in the game. So that's a little bit about Saturday and the whole weekend. Sunday,
Yes.
we're going to have a big crowd
All right.
because the exotic
ra-
animals.
They're coming. Camels and ostriches and zebras. Right now they're heading west from Kansas. And they'll make their way here. Be here Friday. You can come out Friday, see them in the pens in the south end of the racetrack. Also on Saturday. Then Phil, on Sunday, we'll go racing.
Yeah.
The ostrich race from last year. Ooh, Megan couldn't quite stay aboard.
She's back for another year.
Okay. And hey, what do they do? Okay, they're
That's the
chasing
world's
their-
only zebra race. They have the world's only race. People say, well, they have it elsewhere, but it's the same zebras and the same company that puts it on. That's the only zebra race that tours around.
Wow.
And they're from Kansas. Now, the other great thing, you can come out on Saturday during Preakness Day, and they will be in their pens at the south end of the track,
Yep,
right?
that's correct.
And if you check them out, you can learn a little bit about the animals. They come from a animal farm. It's also a bed and breakfast. It's a great facility, and you can learn a lot about these wonderful animals that are taken care of greatly by the Hedrick family that has that farm, and take some pictures. And they look like they're having a good time there.
And they race all over the country. They run the East Coast, the South. They were just in California last week, so they're very favorites of many tracks and groups across the country. They make numerous trips out of Kansas, and they have a big 18-wheeler, which will bring out the camels, the ostriches, and zebras this weekend.
And those animals, they're so used to people because they're used to being out there, and they come around and they walk right up to the folks. They almost like know that somebody's taking their picture, and they pose and everything. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity for the family this weekend at Emerald Downs, and as we mentioned, you can view them on Saturday as well. So the race is on Sunday, exotic animals, and then the following weekend, we're going to go 4 days. We're going to go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of Memorial Day weekend at Emerald Downs, and the great outdoor giveaway is becoming a tradition as well.
Yes, that'll be on Sunday. Come on out. We'll have all the gifts out by the winner's circle. You can see what you might win. We'll have drawings after 3 of the races during the day. Makes for a fun time. We'll make sure everybody knows who the winning names were drawn, so you can come and pick up your gift. And who's going to go out and buy the stuff? Are you going to go buy a few tents there, Phil? What are you going to get?
Yeah, I'm afraid I might buy a barbecue and something for myself, too, because I need some of that stuff. This is the time of year. It's getting
Is that
warm.
how it works?
Yeah.
You need
Well,
stuff?
no, with my own money. I'm not going to spend the company money on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
In the park, well,
Phil's above board all the way.
activities for the kids in the parks also on Sunday and
Good.
Saturday.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
And we got Monday racing. Sunday was Armed Forces Day in addition to the giveaway. And Monday, Memorial Day. And Phil,
The Diaper Derby.
what's going on Memorial Day?
Yes, the Diaper Derby.
The Diaper Derby.
We have a kids race also on Saturday. Kids will get to run on the track, and
That's
then
great.
babies racing on Monday. More information on our Facebook page or emeralddowns.com.
Okay. So, yeah, Facebook, emeralddowns.com. Fill in the gaps if you need to, but just a lot going on the next couple of weekends and thereafter here at Emerald Downs. We're just getting going in our 2019 season. Lots of great racing last weekend. Hey, let's take a look at Friday night, our first Fab Friday, and Stay in Grace is going to win here. Stay in Grace, Gary, that horse is now, it's a he.
2 for 2.
He is now, let's get it straight here. She's a she. She is 2 for 2 at the meeting. She beat a Philly Can Dream there. Linda Northam is 2 for 2 as a trainer. And that horse is 6 for 10 lifetime.
Yeah, it's very impressive. I believe it's an Oregon bred, right?
Yep.
Yep. Fun to see them come up. They're doing well this year. And Linda's off to a great start. And Wayne Williams, the owner, I asked him how much money the first time this horse won. Paid, 30 to 1?
Yeah.
He said he finally bet a few bucks on the horse this second time around.
Moving on, the fifth race, Freiburg, bred and owned by Raymer Holton, a longtime member of our community. He dropped in class. He had a bad start first time out. He was running against all the best 3-year-olds last year. He strutted his stuff nicely in race number 5, came through as the favorite. That was a nice win for Freiburg. The feature race, if you were watching the show last week, Gary picked Sunshine Emily. And let's watch him come down the stretch as he romped ahead of my pick and everybody else. This was a big win. Frank Lucarelli, and it's Rev Racing and the Lucarelli Racing Corporation. So Roy and Ellie Schaefer, they had won previous weekend with Emily's Gold. They win another feature race. Sunshine Emily, nice pick there, Gary.
Yeah, Franklin Ceballos up here doing very well, the jockey. So it's a very competitive jockey's race for the leading title, so it'll be fun all year.
We'll see a little bit more of that later in the show. The feature race was Sunshine Emily, the final race. And let's take a look and listen at race 7 on Friday night.
Red Rock Trail shows the way, clear by 5. Make it 6 in the final furlong. And now 7 and going away. Red Rock Trail and Javier Matias in an absolute runaway to take the nightcap. They win it by 8 or 9.
The Racing Club had been knocking on the door for a few weekends, and they broke through there. Mike Puich trainee, Red Rock Trail, a romping winner with Javier Matias, and those winner circles are always a ton of fun.
Yep.
That was the easiest win they'll ever get. They didn't have to sweat out a nanosecond there.
Racing Club scores the first win of the meeting, and there could be more for them last weekend. Is that a hint? We're going to be right back here on Emerald Downs Weekly. And, the club is going to do well.
Yeah, I noticed all those races on Friday. A lot of speed horses were winning on Friday night. It changed over the weekend.
It's the tides. The tides around here, I think.
Yeah.
Emerald Downs Weekly continues, and recapping our first 3-day race weekend, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. Lots of prize drawings for moms, both on Saturday and Sunday. Tradition at Emerald Downs, and beautiful Saturday afternoon. Lasting Light was a filly in the second race that strutted her stuff. Second-time starter. Of course, 3-year-old fillies was the feature race of the whole week, the Seattle Stakes on Sunday, and this 3-year-old filly, who knows, trained by Terry Gillihan, she could be in stakes company before too long after that nice second career start. Daughter of second in command out of Lasting Rose, a good mare. Sonny Gorst, one of the owners there, and Javier Matias aboard, Lasting Light. And then in the next race, Mike Man's Gold made his seasonal debut. He's a famous horse around here. Multiple stakes winner. Number 2 behind West Seattle Boy.
20 wins now. One behind West Seattle Boy, and could very easily tie that and maybe break the all-time record for most wins in Emerald Downs.
The way he's going. Let's take a look at Mike Man's Gold in action. First start of the season last weekend.
Invitation gains with every stride, 200 yards to the finish. Mike Man's Gold holding on by a length and a half. So Lucky in pursuit in Levitation. But it's Mike Man's Gold who will prevail. Mike Man's Gold winner by 3.
Mike Man's Gold, bred by Keith Swaggerty, and what a racehorse he's been. He is now age 9. Gary Wales with the victory salute, owned by, of course, Greg and Chuck Conley the last many years. He was claimed out of that race. His first start at age 9 for $15,000, now in the barn of Rigoberto Jesse Velasquez, but tremendous horse.
$15,000 for a 9-year-old?
Well, yeah.
That's a gutsy claim, but boy, he's delivered the goods, right? Winning, 20 races, so.
It's one every year he's raced here.
Every year. How many years would that be, Joe?
Now, that's 8 straight now.
Wow.
Ages 2 through 9 for Mike Man's Gold. Quite a horse and a great story at Emerald Downs, so congratulations. And Keith Swaggerty still reaping breeder awards. As up to 20 wins, as Gary mentioned. West Seattle Boy number 1 with 21 in track history. Let's move forward. Another horse that does well, especially in his first start of the meeting. Let's take a look at Mr. Breeze in race number 4. You know, he's going to have to do some work here. He's second right now, second to Dudley Studley, who led all the way the one horse until the last 80 yards or so. Mr. Breeze gets up. He's won his first start at Emerald Downs now in 2015, 16, 17, 18, and 19. And 4 of those wins have been off lengthy layoffs. One time he came in from Turf Paradise. So
he's up to
what? Yeah, he's up to what, 12 wins in track history? Yeah. Mr. Breeze.
And that was a Trifecta Kings winning bet for the weekend, Joe, Phil.
There we go,
I
the
know.
Trifecta King.
I keyed the 1 and 4 for first and second, and the 4 at a longer price ran by. So I invested $28, and we got back $85.30. It's a big fat profit, over $57.
The Trifecta King scores.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
should tell folks in the program every day. We come to the track. There's Gary, a.k.a. the Trifecta
Most
King.
days you don't have to look, but, on
It's
Saturday.
there. It's
Yeah.
there.
No.
I get a roll once in a
And
while.
when he wins, he does something special, as we're going to find out a little
Okay.
bit later in the show.
So, Mr. Breeze, Mike Mangold, a couple of Emerald Downs regulars. Another regular over the last several years did well in our Saturday feature race. Let's hear.
Final furlong away. Jerry DeCarry continues to gain middle of the racetrack. They head down the stretch now. And Guardian 1 just in front, but here's Jerry DeCarry coming on from the outside. Jerry DeCarry pressing. Guardian 1, those two hit the line together.
Solid field, filly and mare sprinters. Jerry DeCarry has raced here 5 seasons now, and she has won all 5 of those seasons. Not a stakes winner here, but she's been good quality, Gary.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Ron Crockett bred her. And
Well, actually, that was a Jerry Paxton horse that Ron purchased from Jerry when he passed away.
okay,
Thus the name,
Jerry DeCarry.
Yeah, Ron
Yep.
has a daughter, Carrie, and
She's
anyway.
been in all high-level claiming races, right? All her
That's
career.
right.
Yep.
Let's move on to Sunday at Emerald Downs, and let's go to the 5th race. Very important field. It was Mother's Day. There was a huge crowd. It was a beautiful afternoon. The defending Long Acres Mile champion was in the race, as well as the reigning Washington Horse of the Year. That would be Barkley and Sip and Fire, respectively. Let's hear from track announcer Tom Harris.
And Cody's Choice takes him down the stretch, clear by a length and a half with a furlong to go. Oh, Marvelous Me is on the attack. Here comes Sip and Fire, rolling late, and Barkley has found a way through at the rail. And Barkley, the Long Acres Mile winner, comes back in winning fashion.
Winning fashion and then some. That was pretty awesome for a mid-card race, a non-stakes race. Of course, Barkley, one of the famous horses in track history. He's a Long Acres Mile winner, and he has now won here at ages 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I was out on the apron watching that, and when Barkley started making that move near the top of the stretch, wow, there was a din from the crowd. He was the favorite, so there was a lot of backing, but and then his well-known success here, that was an impressive run by Barkley.
It's the first time I've ever seen him win like that, though. He likes to be out in the middle of the racetrack in the stretch, put his head down, and kind of go. And Sip and Fire runs second, and you have a
That's Joe's
piece of
horse.
it. Joe's, it's
Sip
your
and
horse,
Fire.
yeah. So
He ran
that
very-
could be a great rivalry through the year with
I
them
hope
running
so.
1-2. Yeah, you hope
After
so.
that race, Barkley looks pretty damn imposing. Did I say damn? Barkley has won 10 of 18 career starts. They've all been here at Emerald Downs, and he is up to number 5 on the all-time earnings list here at the track. Moving on Sunday afternoon, Zanab has loved this track. I think she's like 3 for 28 away from here, something like that. But now she's 4 for 6 at Emerald Downs. This is her first start. Look at her come down the middle of the track for trainer Sharon Ross. Zanab is going to get up once again. She was a racing club horse last year and still trained by Sharon Ross. And then further along, let's go to race 7 on Sunday afternoon. And this is a racing club horse for 2019. His name's Bob's All In, and he's got work to do, and he's going to get it done. Outstanding win from Bob's All In, and another big racing club winner's circle. They've started 6 horses this year between trainer Mike Puich and Sharon Ross. 6 for 6 in the money, and of course 2 wins last weekend. All right, so the club with a huge weekend. And our feature race of the week was the $50,000 Seattle Stakes for 3-year-old fillies. Let's watch the finish.
Mucho Amor comes off the turn just in front. At the inside, Killarney last. From the outside, a little less talk. But out front, Mucho Amor and Juan Hernandez has let her go. Mucho Amor in clear command wins it by 6 in the Seattle.
Daughter of Mucho Macho Man, trained by Blaine Wright for Dave Mowat. and that's Juan Hernandez, another successful trip to the Northwest. Mucho Amor dominant in the Seattle Stakes by 6 lengths. We'll be right back. Emerald Downs Stable area, the scene of a music video last week. That's Rodina Barrett in the middle. The trainer, her barn, and on the right, Helen Myrick, one of her owners. On the left, Stephanie Preston Lafredo. A little less talk on the right there with Helen. She finished second in the Seattle at 51-1 behind Mucho Amor.
Yes.
And the other horse there is a lot more action. So a little less talk and a lot more action in the Rhodey Barrett barn. Thanks, gals. Little extra entertainment for our show and having a little fun at the Rodina Barrett barn. And they did well in the stake.
Yeah.
Boy. that
Toby
horse-
Keith? You said that was the Toby Keith version of that song?
Yeah.
Hank Williams Jr., I think, did it originally.
A little less talk. That's not an
Lot more.
Elvis Presley song.
That was a different song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, a little less talk. Clearly second in the Seattle, so congratulations. They brought a little bit of luck to the barn. This weekend, our second stakes race of the year, it'll be the Auburn Stakes for 3-year-olds at 6 furlongs. And you got to look back to last summer for a couple of the top contenders. Baja Sur was state champion last year. He was untouchable, unbeatable. 2 starts, including the King County Express. He won this one by 10. A son of Smiling Tiger, owned by John and Janine Mariansky, trained by
Blaine Wright.
Blaine Wright, yeah. So Baja Sur, Blaine reports he's been doing well. A very likely favorite on Sunday after what he displayed last year. Eric Lopez rode him in the King County last year. Fuzzy Dolphin had an outstanding 2-year-old season as well. He did finish well behind Baja Sur in a maiden race, but he came back and won the Washington Cup 2-year-old Colton Gelding race over a big field. And then he got third in the Gottstein after that.
Yes, and he danced quite a few dances at age 2. And it'll be fun to see how these horses do at 3. Remember, between ages 2 and 3, lots of things can happen. Horses get much bigger. Horses can regress. Horses can get a lot better. So it will be interesting to see how these newly turned 3-year-olds do in the first stakes of the year.
Fuzzy Dolphin by Harbor the Gold, our all-time leading stakes-winning sire, and trained by Frank Lucarelli. And speaking of standings, trainer standings, we just mentioned Lucarelli and Blaine Wright with top contenders for the Auburn. Well, they're right at the top of the training standings. Lucarelli looking for his 6th local title, 8 wins, and Blaine Wright up there. We've had 8 feature races so far. They've took 5 of those. Candy Kreiderman has been active and lots of placings. Kay Cooper had a good weekend. Sharon Ross with of course, the
Phil,
club
who do you
winner.
pick to be the leading trainer?
I believe that would have been the guy on top right now.
Me too. I picked Lucarelli
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
You guys are too good for me.
So far.
Joe's trainer's just missing on the list,
He's
right,
right
Joe?
behind there
Okay.
with 2 wins.
2.
Steve Bullock, yeah.
All right.
Okay, jockey standings. Let's look at Gary Wales on top there. Gary, of course, good first season last year. Got off to a great start. Kevin Orozco expected to do well. He is doing well, youngster. And how about Juan Gutierrez? Missing 2017, and there he is, 3rd in the standings, a nice winning percentage. Franklin Ceballos, first year up here. Javier Matias, he's got the big guy with him. He rides Barkley, and could be another nice year for him. And Jose Zanino always gets his wins around here.
Well, Rocco Bowen not here, recovering from his injury, and you see what that does to the standings. It opens things wide open and very
Exactly.
competitive so
Yes.
far.
Okay, and then owners. Well, John Parker, wow, he is supporting the program. Look at those starts. That is outstanding. 16 out of 26 in the top 3. He'd like, of course, a few of those gray horses more winning, but there it is. Number of people with 2 wins. There's some of them. Casa Loma Stable of Richard and Sandy Caswell. They won with Jerry DeCarry on Saturday. Had a good week. Jody Peets and her one-horse Will Do Corporation. Peter Redekop, just 3 starters, 2 winners. And the club, 6 for 6 in the money once again.
That's
Jeez.
amazing.
They're going to get a fat check at the end of the year.
Emerald Racing
Yeah.
Club.
I might have to sign up, Phil.
Yes.
It's still late. Can I get in on the...
Get you 500.
Looks
in.
like a profitable year for the club, doesn't it? They are doing really well. Okay, so And then, Phil, I think you did a little. Did you do this shooting? Were you?
Well,
you were
Gary,
all over the place.
the Trifecta King hit. What day was that? Saturday?
Saturday.
Saturday, he
Yes.
hit. And
Didn't
when
you hear the crowd go crazy?
the crowd went crazy. You went crazy, actually,
I had
because
one all year, yeah.
when Gary wins, he puts on his outfit, and let's check this out.
All right, we're here with the Trifecta King. Gary, why are you dressed like that?
Big winner today. My trifecta for the day came in. Paid around $86 from an investment of $28. That's a nice profit, around $70, maybe $60.
That really doesn't describe why you're dressed like that.
Well, you know, we're trying to have an image of showing the king. The Trifecta King makes a bet once a day in the program, and we've been following him, and this is the first winner, Phil, that I've had at the meet. So I figured I'd dress up in my garb, including, how's the new crown? Nice new-looking crown, isn't it?
You look like that character on Seinfeld, Nobody Beats the Wiz.
Nobody beats the Wiz.
Nobody Beats the Wiz.
Baby Archie do it.
Baby Archie.
Baby Archie. There you go.
Yeah.
Fans all like the Trifecta King.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of kids over here. They ran away from you, Gary.
Well, I gotta go get a beer now with my winnings in the Trifecta.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good plan. Well, there was
Baby
nobody around
Archie.
you. Was that because the costume was so dusty it had to be dusted off? And
People
dry
were
cleaned?
running away
Hadn't
from
been
him.
Used in a while.
Yes.
That's a brand new costume. We paid big money for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that a good idea for the company? Probably
You
not.
could have got a clown suit. I mean, the Trifecta King scores on Saturday.
Baby Archie.
Baby Archie.
Baby Archie. Did that get mentioned there? I missed that.
Yeah, they asked him how bad Baby Archie was doing.
How about the pick of the week? There is a post-parade at Emerald Downs, and that is not photoshopped or fiddled with at all. Phil, that's a nice picture there. Mount Rainier was beautiful this weekend.
Yes, I don't know if Reed or Aaron Palmer took that, but one of them did, our track photographers, and beautiful shot.
That's a cold exacta. 8/9.
Was that it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, the pick of the week scores with the right horses, too. We'll be right back on Emerald Downs Weekly. Thanks for joining us on Emerald Downs Weekly, Friday night, 6:30. A Fab Friday and Racing Saturday and Sunday at 2. Exotic animals on the weekend, on Sunday. Hey, stat versus stat. What do you got this week, Gary?
Well, we saw the great Mike Man's Gold win over the weekend, and I did some research, and as Joe was saying, he's won 8 consecutive years at Emerald Downs. Only one of 4 horses in the history of the racetrack to do it. Skyrider, Peace Glory Girl, and the Man with a Big Cigar all won 8 consecutive years, and he could win again next year since he's only age 9 and break the record.
Well, we do these things independently, and mine's got a
That's
little
a good
less.
stat. Phil, was that a good
Well,
stat?
let's see what
little
Joe's
less
is.
space
That
than
was good.
yours. Only one horse in Emerald Downs history had won at ages 2 through 9 in all of our years. We're in our 24th season. It was Skyrider, as he did it 2003 to 2010, ages 2 through 9, and he added up with 14 wins. Mike Man's Gold becomes just the second to win at ages 2 through 9. So 8 years in a row. Here's Skyrider back on September 27th, 09. He's going to get up in one of our closing day Ash Bob Beal races. Is he going to get up? Yes, he does. Blaine Wright trained him, fellas.
Yes.
Skyrider toward the
10
end of his
years
career.
ago.
Javier Matias, but so
You got
boy, we were
video.
pretty
I
similar.
didn't even get to use video.
There's
Part of winning is the presentation, man. You're lacking on your
I
presentation
gotta
a little bit.
get some video.
You got twice as many horses on your board as I did, but
Can I
mine's
see
a-
my
mine's
board
a little
again?
more
Show that board
unique.
real quick. Phil, look at that. 8 consecutive years.
Well, but Joe's stat was pretty much the same stat, except more specific, and therefore Joe wins.
There's a small typo in there, too. Joe wins?
Joe wins.
You better go back to the drawing board a little bit.
I need to get
Those
some
are pretty close.
video.
I got
Those
that.
were that's pretty
were
much
close.
the same stat. but-
Okay. You know, Barkley has won at ages 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 now. And who knows? He might join that list some year, but he's been awesome. He's out now up to, well, he's leading among active stakes winners. We haven't had a stake in his division of yet. Sip and Fire right in there. Mike Man's Gold. Who knows whether he'll be in the Washington Cup at the end of the year or before. Bellamia, great first out. Riser is going to be back in training soon, according to Blaine Wright. We say his name a lot on this show.
Yeah.
And Barkley is also now number 5 in the history of Emerald Downs in earnings. He just passed flame-throwing Texan with a big year. He could certainly go into second or even third or fourth, make it. There's some great names there, and look at that. Howard Belvoir trains 3 of the top 5 earners in track history.
That's why Howard's in the Hall of Fame.
He is. He's in the Washington Hall of Fame. So is the trainers of Stryker PhD and Noosa Beach, Sharon and Larry Ross and Doris Harwood. Hey, we are talking mile with Barkley. He is the top contender. And let's take a look at an angle or maybe a historical look at the Long Acres Mile. As far as the Long Acres Mile and jockey Larry Pierce, there's great memories and ones that could have been.
I knew about the Long Acres Mile when I was 16. I was up in Vancouver, Canada, hadn't started riding yet, and the mile was like the big cap, for the Northwest.
Turbulator and Pierce were having an incredible 1970 season. There were thrilling victories in the Independence Day, Joshua Green, and Governor's handicaps leading up to mile favoritism. Bad luck prevented victory.
14 stall gate was very narrow, and it was a big field. They used the 14 stall, and the gate doors didn't open outward. They opened straight out. And so my stirrup went right along the bars and the aluminum just shattered. Once I got the foot up in the webbing, I was trapped on the inside. Turbulator doesn't like the inside. He wants to go around them, and I think he got beat about 2 lengths. He was so much the best. It was, if I'd have jumped off, he'd have took off and won the race. I'm sure of that.
Turbulator finished 5th, beaten 2.5 lengths. Pierce found victory 3 years later with Silver Mallet, a midsummer purchase by the White Swan and Tamarack Stables. Trainer Jim Penny sought a local jockey.
And I didn't ride regularly for Jim. That was the year that I broke my arm and I didn't get to come back until August. So I watched the horse work. I think Paul Frey worked the horse. He had retired by then. And I saw the horse when Paul asked him to ring his tail. And so I just figured, this horse doesn't like to stick. So I never did hit the horse. And he kept running and running. It just, we won by a neck or something.
Times Rush flew down the stretch to win the 1974 mile under Basil Frazier, and it was Pierce with that mount the next year. Times Rush was a deep closer, but Pierce had him in strong contention with the 16th to go.
Red Eye Express and Woolboy and Jim and Times Rush on the rail. Woolboy and Jim and Times Rush. Woolboy and look out, it's Times Rush.
We had a real rough track that day. It was heavy mud, and he come from behind. Little traffic down the lane, and we had to come in and out a little bit, but just the jump before the wire, we just a neck in front, and he just wilted and pulled up.
A nose defeat that was not easily forgotten. Larry Pierce was inducted into the Washington Thoroughbred Hall of Fame in 2008. Emerald Downs Weekly, our final segment, and the Preakness is this Saturday, the second jewel in racing's Triple Crown. Still a lot of talk about the first jewel, the Kentucky Derby, from Saturday, May 4th. And Luis Saez has been suspended 15 days by the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission, which
Phil, you watching?
Egregious.
I wasn't here last week. I did not get to chime in. I thought this was a terrible disqualification.
Oh, really?
Terrible.
Maximum security on the lead, but
One
he's
just
going to come
pour
out
out.
3 paths.
That's okay.
And War of Will's neck, maybe half a neck, was in front of his butt. So
He didn't
was
even
already
claim foul.
Well, that's weird. Of
And
course,
here he is
that's very
shoving through.
strange.
Watch Tyler come through here on the rail. He forces out, makes 2 or 3 horses check. Now he's in lane 2, running fine. And now it gets tight because Phil, go ahead.
Because
And
why?
Luis
Maximum security
Saez-
just came out 3 paths.
And Saez did everything he could to hold the horse in line. I've said since this thing first happened that you can do this super slow-mo to probably every Kentucky Derby for the last 20 years. They allowed 19 or 20 horses in this race, and there's
Right.
always going to be something. And the process, of course, there's a lawsuit now, and the whole process,
By Gary West, yeah.
Flavian Pratt claimed foul that was disallowed. And John Cord, who claimed foul back in the paddock after the race, that was the foul that was, and the stewards didn't call it. The process.
They never announced that.
They
John
didn't even
Cord,
announce that part, and I think this is an interesting lawsuit because, and I'm sure Luis Saez is going to protest.
He's protesting this, exactly.
and
So
his
you don't
suspension.
think that a horse was cost a potential placing in that race, which is
Yeah,
really the main
maybe
rule.
from 17th to 15th. I mean,
Well, it's
I don't
really
think-
hard to say.
well, maybe that jockey should have claimed foul.
Well,
I
did
think
it.
he should have. War of Will's riders, Gaffleone should have
There's-
definitely claimed foul.
There's Gary and Mary
I'm
West. They have
I'm
lots
sure
of
the
money.
War of Will was taken into consideration when the disqualification
Well,
was made.
They didn't talk to him. The
No.
stewards didn't talk
but
to
that
him.
doesn't matter. They can watch the videotape.
But
They know how to watch a race.
But they said they talked to all the jockeys involved. And here's what gets
Oh.
me. I want to get this one out there because I don't know this for a fact, but when people say that this is the same as a race on Thursday afternoon or something like that, well, baseball doesn't treat the World Series the same as a regular season game. There's more umpires.
Right.
There's more cameras. And the Derby had access to all these extra cameras, and there's no evidence to suggest that they looked at any of those other angles that NBC had, that the stewards looked at the same 5 cameras that they always look at.
Yeah.
And I think that's wrong. If you have the technology, you should use it. They took 22 minutes. They didn't talk to the guys that were most involved. I think there's just a lot involved here. And
that still doesn't mean there wasn't a foul
Well,
and a horse was cost a potential
I thought-
placing. There
I
was plenty
thought-
of cameras to see.
War of Will, he caused his own problem by bearing out and knocking a horse a little bit to the right and then getting right into the back feet of the horse in the lead. And Tyler just really forced
War
it
of Will
right
might
here.
have done that, but then now he's clear. War of Will is clear, and he's trying to go by maximum security, who comes out 3 paths and causes 3 horses of crowding.
Well, some are saying that it started before he came out, which I think if you watch it very closely, Tyler
Okay.
comes splitting horses. He got nowhere to go. He makes his own path.
Not much is going on right there.
Well, there's
I'm
some
sorry.
bumping there. Okay, now he gets into right behind
Now
the
is
front
where
runner.
their legs get tangled is right there when he came out
Well,
3 paths leader. Okay.
it's
tricky.
it's when you have that many horses in a race, then if you're going to treat it like a normal horse race, then
You
make
run
the field
14.
14.
That's a real key point in the race right there. That's when
That's-
riders really
that's
start
the most
asking at the
critical, I
quarter
agree.
pole. It's not
Yeah.
the first turn. It's a
How
little
about
different.
how about that better?
I agree with a smaller field size.
Well, the other thing is the best horse didn't. The best horse was clearly
I
the winner.
totally
and-
agree with
and
that.
They took
but,
him down,
you know,
and it's a 145-year history, and you take
Right.
down a horse in Kentucky Derby, and of course the stewards. If it was that obvious, Joe, how come they didn't call the foul right away? I mean, they're
or
watching
later.
the race.
Or
Put it
later.
up.
well,
Exactly.
that's a mistake too.
Well, then if they're
with
making
you.
that's, I mean, there's a lawsuit that's probably got no chance, but
It's going to be fun. It's going to be intriguing.
It's
to
gonna be
see
fun.
hey, it keeps horse racing in the news. Speaking of bad beats, how about the bettor who was at in a Nevada OTB, not knowing it was a non-parimutuel place to bet, so they capped it at 150 to 1. So they said, we'll give you $35,000 for your winning bets. What, a $40 trifecta and a $100 exacta? If he bets at any parimutuel racetrack or any parimutuel casino in Nevada, he gets almost over $600,000. Phil.
that's his fault.
That is a
That's just
disaster.
That's
That
his
is
fault.
a complete disaster.
Yeah,
And he's suing too.
he's suing. He's got no grounds.
He says I didn't see any signs that says there's 150 to 1 max for a trifecta. He thought he was coming in betting the biggest race and get full track odds. He says
they
I
would
never
have
saw
signs
it.
up.
Well, they were small. There were signs.
Wow, that is.
So he's getting a lot. He's getting a lawyer.
He collects 35 grand, and it's still a bad beat, a real bad.
600,000.
That's a
That
bad
story.
beat. Yes, but if that bet goes through parimutuel, it changes the payouts too because it would have been a lot of money
Small.
redistributed.
It would have been small.
Those
I don't
pools
know.
are
Those
huge.
pools
are
out of
really
control.
huge. There was 38 million in the win pool last I saw.
All right.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that was with a few minutes to post. It's a
Well,
big.
that guy's just
big
stupid.
sample.
He only bets one race a year.
Well,
The Derby, and he found the nearest casino at horse racing betting, and so he made his bets. And shouldn't the teller say, "Hey, sir, we have capped odds on the exacta and the trifecta"?
No, they can't do that
Whoops,
to every customer
yes.
that comes up. That's,
Well, he
no.
bet $3,000, Joe.
Anyway, yeah, they're going to send him to another casino to bet. They want the action.
you know the sad part
They
about
lost. They got their butts
I
kicked.
know, but they in
35,000
the long run,
now.
these casinos do okay.
The sad part about all of this is it's too bad these horses aren't going to run again, because with all the talk going
I
on.
know. In fact, you're
you
right.
know.
There's still going to be a lot of interest in the Preakness because another Twist of Fate's in there.
Yes,
But
we
the
have a
top
really-
4 finishers from the Derby aren't.
Yep. First time since the late 50s, I think.
Wow.
Where the top 4 have not returned for the.
I don't think Bill
Preakness.
Mott wanted any part of this thing.
No.
He wanted to go back home.
Who's going to win the Preakness, Phil?
Another Twist of Fate, of course. Got to pick our local connection.
What do you think, Gary?
I'm liking the hometown hero horse.
Another Twist of Fate. It's a perfect threesome here. We like the local angle. Blaine Wright, Peter Redikoff. He's a good horse. 6-1 morning line. And
I
we
want to
are
bet that
looking
there's going to be
forward
another
this weekend.
inquiry. What kind of odds to get on
Oh, if that happens. Oh, man.
It's 50-50. There either will or there won't. Come on.
Okay.
Okay, that's Emerald Downs Weekly for this week. Hope to see you at the track Friday night. First race 6:30, Fab Friday. Thanks for joining us.